Fantastic Four First Steps. They finally released the teaser. This was on my anticipation list for 2025. So, I finally got to see what this is going to look like. Right away, you know what I thought of? The Jetsons.
Wow.
Just because it's like a futuristic time, but in the 60s. Like it's like if technology was more advanced, but still being in that time period. I like the way everything looks. I think it's awesome. Just quick overview. Like they show everyone in costume for the most part. The Thing in costume looks very comic accurate. Seeing the cast together, seeing them kind of talk, I'm a fan of the casting. I think this all works very well. And funny enough, the only person I'm kind of having qualms about is Pedro Pascal, because I don't know if it's just the choice of having him look the way he looks with the mustache and all that. Like, I'm not sure what it is exactly. I don't. It's not that I don't buy him as Reed Richards. It's just I don't see how Reed Richards is going to communicate with the rest of this cast, because the rest of the cast kind of, I feel like they could intertwine, but Pedro Pascal always feels like the odd man out in these clips. But I don't know. It's just a trailer. I can't judge it yet. But yeah, I think it looks awesome, man. Like I have no complaints about it. This is actually looking to be pretty cool. And I guess I'll just close it with saying that I don't know how this is going to connect to the overarching universe. I don't know if it's supposed to at this point, because this looks radically different. But we're in a time period where portals are opening up in every time frame and things are blending. So who cares? Who knows? But yeah,
right.
What'd you think, Chris, of this? Because you were kind of lukewarm on the hype for this. I was way more hyped up than you. But now that you get to see it, what do you think?
I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm more of a Silver Surfer fan, over a combination of the characters.
Right.
But this looked interesting. I mean, right from the beginning, it's shot in 4:3 aspect ratio, so it's kind of being cheeky with the way even it's shot, depicting the sort of 60s aesthetic that's going on there. Mm-hmm. And you're right, it is mid-century sort of futuristic stuff with the cars and everything like that. It looks really, really cool. Looks very interesting, and it looks very sort of tongue-in-cheek with some of the dialogue, right? And there is some of that, Guardians of the Galaxy sort of stuff, but I don't think they're biting Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, anytime you have a stable of 3 or 4 superheroes, it's okay for there to be a little bit of comedy without it being compared to what Batista was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we got to at least give it a chance. This looks different. They're giving it another shot. I'm just hoping that it's a simple story. Start with the ground roots, and that's it. You want to tease something after the credits, go for it. But just keep the story simple, and just, it doesn't have to be an entire reboot. You don't have to tell the story of each of the 4 and what happened, right? It seems like the trailer's already sort of summarizing what's happened to each of the 4 guys when they went off into space. So there is a little bit of a cool factor. But I think we're going to get a more of a smarter movie. We're going to see a little bit more of an introspective movie. You see some of the characters sort of literally looking in the mirror and, figuring out who they are and who they used to be, kind of thing. And because your life would change if you all of a sudden you have these superpowers, right? Or if it changes the way you look or changes the way you act when you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Like the Incredible Hulk, for example, mm-hmm. That'd be the worst power for me to get. Could you imagine if all of a sudden I got the Hulk's powers?
You're like already the Hulk.
I already have a short fuse. Would be you turn on the news and there'd be this fucking Chris Torres Velociraptor just running around downtown Toronto knocking buildings over,
Oh boy.
But
that's funny.
Yeah, it looks interesting, and I will check it out. I don't think I'll watch it in theaters, but definitely as soon as it hits the stream, I'll definitely give it a look. It's got a really nice, cool aesthetic to it, sort of like that tone of the 60s and 70s that everybody really likes. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of a nice period, especially if you're in your 40s and didn't grow up in that era. It's always one of those eras. It's always interesting whether you're watching it on TV through things like Mad Max or what's the other one that came out on Apple TV? Or that superhero one. It was done tongue-in-cheek. It was done black and white like it was a comedy show. You liked it. You watched the whole thing.
Black and white. WandaVision? I don't know, bro.
That's the one.
Oh, is it? Okay, that was Disney Plus.
Yeah, so something like that, right? A little bit sort of lighthearted, right? But I don't know what kind of audience this is going to attract. but it definitely seems like all the right players are in there. And are you just a little bit burnt out of Pedro Pascal? How come you don't see him as that main role?
You see, I can't say I'm burnt out because to this day I've never seen something with him in it completely.
What?
But I just feel like I've never seen any of his movies or anything. But at the same time, he's in every movie, it seems like. He's in a lot of trailers I've seen last year.
He's the it guy.
He's the it guy. So for him to be in this, it's like all eyes are kind of on him because he is I would say the biggest name going into the movie, right? So
right.
To me, he's the glue. He has to kind of deliver on all this. So, and he's just the leader of the group too. Like it's just character-wise and actor-wise, it's kind of hand in hand. So they gotta, I don't know, he has to deliver on this for it to work.
Yeah.
I'm not even knocking it. I'm just judging what I saw in the trailer, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I just want to say, looking at the cast, I forgot, like I saw this headline last year, but I just reminded myself, Galactus is in the trailer, and he looks really good. You only see the back of his head.
Who's Galactus, Ryan?
Galactus should be the next Avengers threat. Should be. Okay. Because he is like more badass than Thanos, to be honest. But the fact that he's in this movie, I just don't know how. Like, I don't know if that's going to happen. You know, like I don't know. It seems like they're treating it like he's just a Fantastic Four villain when I think he should be the villain for all of them. But that aside. He's being voiced by Ralph Ineson, who did he voiced Sid in Final Fantasy 16, and he was the best character in that game. Like his voice work for that character was incredible. So I'm very excited to hear his voice as Galactus. I'm sure there's going to be some tweaking, but that kind of hypes me up alone. I think that's going to sound really cool because Final Fantasy 16, every time Sid was on screen, you didn't give a shit about anyone else. That was the best character. Right. So, yeah, man, Fantastic Four first steps. I'm excited. We'll see it later this year.
This is another attempt to make this a go. You know, film history, you know, you look at the ones that have already come out in the mid-2000s, and then they tried the Rise of the Silver Surfer, and then they try to redo it again with the Fantastic Four in 2015, so... It's another shot. It's another opportunity to make it work. These movies seem to only get one shot to either work or not work. But these days, I will say in 2025, now that they're trying this again, the one thing that they do have is just in case it doesn't quite succeed, but still does some numbers, you always have the opportunity to now spin off into a TV series of some kind.
Yeah, that's the move, right? Yeah, that Fantastic Four from 2015, famously, the fans dub it Fan Four Stick because of the way the logo looks. They use the 4 as the A, so it's just Fan Four Stick.
That's funny.
That movie got a 4 out of 10. Jesus Christ. If you guys like this video, be sure to check out the rest of the channel and consider subscribing. Go even further and subscribe to Podcast Fresh wherever you listen to your podcasts for new episodes every week.